Most of you already know Kathy through her articles and the tools that she's done and her presentations at TMEA and Midwest Band and Orchestra Clinics. She's done extensive teacher training programs. Some of you might have been involved in those. She's done them in Europe and Asia, Australia, North America. She's been featured in many of Flute journals, including the largest 2 in Europe. So she's been doing this for quite a while. Kathy is the creator of the award-winning Blocki method books. She has won the NAMM Award of Best Tools for Schools for her Pneuma Pro Wind Defender, and she collaborated with Belgian flutist Ludwig de Paul to create the Flute Tutor positioning tool. Her latest endeavors include Kinder Flute program, which you just saw a little clip just before we got started on that. She has started it's called the Flute Zoo Methods book. It is not available yet. It will be available very soon. We're actually offering pre-orders at special pricing on our website, and we will give you the link to that in the chat. So that'll be available for everybody as well. One of the things that is just so fabulous, the most important thing that I've seen with Kathy is her passion for all of her students to reach their potential. That her goal is to make her students just soar above and beyond what they ever thought they could do. Even those with disabilities have grown in ways that they didn't think were possible, their parents didn't think were possible. She's really impacted their overall quality of life as well, not just as a flute player, but as human beings. So she just has this passion for kids and just giving them the love of music and how to do that through flute playing. Her students consistently win regional, state competitions, young artist competitions, national competitions. I could go on forever, but I would like to just turn the class over to Kathy because I know everybody is short on time and wants to be able to enjoy their weekend as well and get the most out of this class. So Kathy, it's all yours.
So it is just a delight to be here and have you all with us today. If you have questions or you want me to cover something that we haven't covered, just type it into the chat and we can talk about that later. One of the first things I want to do is so important is just talk about tone. And when I begin with tone, I first start with kind of a question and answer type thing. With my young kids, we experiment with different types of tones. So I have them, each of them will have a mirror. And we'll try the smiley embouchure. And of course, when I play the smiley embouchure, I make sure it sounds really bad. And they give me a thumbs up and a thumbs down. If you want to give me thumbs up or thumbs down, you're welcome to let me know. And then, we have a PDF of good and bad embouchures available. Just ask Carol, and she can send that to you. Because I find the kids, those of you who have taught, see kids do all kinds of crazy stuff. So we start by differentiating between what is a good embouchure and what is not a good embouchure. And I know Dennis Boryakov looks crazy, but so yeah, but we're not going to imitate his in general. Anyways, but and then we do one disappearing lips. So I have everybody do that. Let me try to play it. Oh, it's an awful, awful sound. Very, very bad sound. How about mooing like a cow? That doesn't work. And I've added one is like a monkey. Because those of you who've taught, kids are always puffing out their cheeks, right? No puffed out cheeks. No puffed up cheeks. So, and then, again, this is always with a mirror. A mirror is so, so, so important. So, so important. Then I just have them put their index finger underneath their lips and pretend that this is a bed. This is their bed. And they're just going to go to sleep. Very, very natural. And then we want to say Winnie the Pooh. Pooh. If you use Winnie the Pooh, you'll won't waste a whole bunch of time just saying poo or pee. you're going to waste a lot of time with giggles. So Winnie the Pooh, and have them look in front of the mirror. And you can have them, you can do that if you're online, you can just have them take a screenshot, or you can take a screenshot of them once it's really good. Keep on trying. And once it's really good and you've got them up, take a screenshot. If they're in person, take a little video so they know and they've got that clue. By the time they're done with that first lesson, I want them to be able to identify what is a great sound and what is not. And so they know exactly what a good embouchure is. So I keep on going back. I'll go do something else, but I'll come back and say, is this a good embouchure? And we try different things. And they get really good at identifying what we're looking for. Once they can do that, we have, I'm kind of the queen of paper wads. I tried this about 20 years ago with a student, and it worked so well. And now I see paper wads all over the internet, all over Facebook. But it began with a little 4-year-old. Once they can do that, we want them to take this paper wad and blow it. If you're online, you can have lots of fun. Can you say, can you hit my nose? Oh, you didn't get it. Try it again. You can play a really fun game with it. Kids will love it. Really, really love it. So once they can do one, some kids are going to have a hard time with this, even getting that air so that's not hitting their bangs. Okay. Then we're going to add 2. And what we're helping them to do is sustain the air column. So, and then I tell them these are birthday candles, and they have to line up as many as they are old. And so this person is 6 years old. And the idea, they know what they have to do because they're birthday candles. Pretend birthday candles. So we go. You need to get them all out in one breath. Okay. And once they're really good at that, we replace the finger with the Pneuma Pro. Okay. And as soon as you put, this is a problem with teaching online because you can't place it there. Okay. But we want them to be princes and princesses, so they're not leaning forward. This whole leaning forward thing starts from the first lesson. So they can be looking in the mirror, and hopefully they have a music stand. And what we want them to do is stand, again, like a prince or princess, and then they float the Pneuma Pro up. And now the Pneuma Pro is the bed for their lower lip. And eyes go crazy. How would a trumpet play the flute? Like this. So most instruments, you blow right into them. Here, our lower lip goes underneath. Very, very important. Underneath. And then check and make sure they're going to sleep. You can get that poo. Now checking on position again, this whole being too covered with the tone hole starts in this first lesson. So we have them, you can get a piece of candy, or I have a little foam piece that works well. You can have a pretend penny. So you want to balance it there so they're not rolling in and out. I know if I do a session for a band director and I tell them to get this lowest fan, they all do this. I even got an email from a band director saying, you know, I don't think mine's made right because the black thing hits the kid's nose when they're getting the lowest fan. So I said, yes, please buy the DVD so you can understand a little bit more how this is supposed to be done. So practicing, bring it up. And at first, just making any fan go. Okay, so if typically they're going to be hitting the yellow fan when they first start. If they're hitting the blue fan, they can't get any sound at all. Okay, so the blue fan is there to tell you that that's not going to work at all. But some kids will start there. And then you don't want to immediately tell them to get that all the way down. If they're getting the yellow one, fantastic, fantastic. And then say, oh, can you get the red one now? And what they're tempted to do is this. So reminding them, to the poo sound, okay? And the position. Okay, and in between this, because they're going to get really tired of blowing and a little dizzy, you can go back to, here I've got my flute. We can talk about how to hold the flute. Here we have a bee sticker and an apple sticker. Whoops, I just threw this on there, sorry. A for apple and G for green. Okay, so once they get that, we have our seat and our thumb sticker and add a finger, add a finger, add a finger. If it's a young child, I paint their fingernails to match their flute, so they have flute fingers. And you think with older kids that this might be a little crazy to put stickers on their flute, but I have been, whoops. I've been invited to flute camp where the kids have been playing for a whole week. They've met every day, and their fingers are in the wrong places. So the stickers, I don't care how old they are. When they're first beginning, it's helpful. You can just have cool stickers. It doesn't matter. They don't have to be the blue, the red, and the green. Just any cool thing that they think that they like, just to make sure their fingers are getting in the right place. You can even put a sticker right here, okay, on the flute, so they know where to match up. And it's a little different for each student, but to get that to match up. Okay, and then you go back to this, to the Pneuma Pro. And once they can get the red or the green fan consistently, with the room sound, we really want that room sound. And do it as long as possible, okay? And make sure you're all muted. If not, then you might pop up if you make a sound into front of everybody. Okay, so once we have that, we want to simply transfer that to the flute. So our Pneuma Pro, and immediately after the flute, and have them close their eyes and just feel the edge of that flute. What we don't want to do, this is, I can always tell a student who began in band with the kiss and roll method. How many of you know what a kiss and roll method is? So it's where you roll the flute way in and you, until you get that awful sound. You roll out until you get that terrible, terrible tight sound. And once you get in the habit of doing that, it's almost impossible to undo. It's a terrible, terrible habit. And that's the reason we have the flute tutor, for all those people, either the beginners or the people who've been doing that all their lives, even college students, especially college students who've been covering too much. I start the kids by covering just a little bit, okay? Because we can, if they can learn how to get that air column down and relaxed, they can have a full vibrant tone. You can, it's so easy to correct being, having to cover more. That's something that's very, very easy to correct. But covering too much, you hear that sound? So once you do that, first of all, they're barely using any air at all, right? So they think, oh, this is great. It's really easy to get a sound, even though I'll bite a terrible, terrible sound. So it's a habit that forms very, very quickly. So if you or your students are not getting that lowest fan, I want you to think about aiming the air inside your mouth very high toward the gums. So you aim it there, and then you use this upper lip, just like Kincaid says, to push the air down. So it's kind of like you're hitting here, and then it's coming down here. That's a very important aspect. The only time that I use, that I'm aiming my air directly toward the center is whenever I'm playing pianissimo in the high range, and that would look like this. Anytime I'm playing mezzo forte or forte, I'm actually aiming high and directing my air column low. The only time I'm doing that the other way is with when I'm playing pianissimo up high.